the VCCR will apply. Now the two articles of the VCLT जो इसमें fit होते हैं. One is Article 30, the second is Article 41 of the Vienna Convention on the Law of Treaties. The first one says that if there are multiple treaties on the same subject matter, the latest in time will prevail. We win this way, right? The latest in time is the 2008 agreement. So if it's a treaty on the same subject matter, and therefore it will take precedence. It would have modified the previous one. The second one, second article is Article 41. And this relates to modification of treaties. Okay, if a treaty has come about and it has a mechanism to modify its provisions, then what happens is that any subsequent treaty would be, can be construed as a modification of the original treaty. Now, what is the requirement for a valid modification? That it abides by the rules in the original treaty for modification. So has Pakistan done that? This entire thing is what the court is going to be determining. Whether it's a new, because if you look at the wording of the treaty, they don't make any mention of the Vienna Convention on Consular Relations. But as we can see, consular access, it's on the same subject matter. So we have an argument that Article 30 applies. Right? Now what's also interesting is if we go to the Vienna Convention on Consular Relations, VCCR, uska Article 73 says that this treaty, the VCCR, does not affect other treaties between states. So if that's the case, then this also takes precedence, right? Because this is another treaty between states. So the VCCR can't, mess with this treaty or create problems with this treaty. Its validity will stand.
Bilateral will prevail over that.
Exactly. This treaty will prevail, even if it's a multilateral treaty, but this treaty would prevail in that sense. So that's a very strong argument. The final argument that we've come up with is non-discrimination. Under Article 72 of the VCCR, one state, if it restrictively applies the VCCR, then the other state is allowed to also restrictively apply. What argument can we make here? This agreement allowed India to deny Pakistani nationals in situations of security or political issues, deny consular access. And it is because our embassy or our consulate would have been restricted, that is why we took this action as well. So it was a reciprocal restriction of the obligations of the VCCR. That is another argument. Do we all understand that? I hope I haven't confused people too much. This is treaty interpretation. And if you ask any lawyer, treaty interpretation or statute interpretation is one of the most complex areas. Khaskar constitutional interpretation. So these are just some of the arguments. This is a very, very brief lecture. There's a lot more to this case. But I hope that this gives us a clear picture of that. We have 2 minutes. If there are any questions anybody wants to raise. Jay.
For the sake of foresight, even if ICJ decides in favor of India and India gets consular access, what will be its consequences? Will they file a review petition in Pakistani courts?
Okay, so I'll tell you what will happen. Right now, Kulbhushan Yadav has a few options. He can seek mercy from the army chief, which I think was denied. Then he can seek mercy from the federal government, which is the president. Then what he can also do is challenge the entire process through a writ process. He's not going to be, most likely, this is my assessment, he won't be successful. He can go to the Supreme Court and say that a military court for me should not have been constituted. I doubt he'll be successful because we already have the 21st Amendment judgment, which has given authorization to create military courts. And the Pakistan Army Act is in a schedule of the Constitution which keeps it safe from the application of fundamental rights. So he can't make an argument on, okay, many fundamental rights, human rights are being violated. So that's the issue. So could you repeat the question again?
If India gets consular access
Yeah.
to Kulbhushan Yadav.
हाँ बिल्कुल. So एक तो options थी जो he can still exhaust, right? So he has a number of options. Secondly, say this judgment goes in favor of India, and the 3 judgments that have happened in the ICJ before, all 3 of them went against the US. In all 3 judgments, US still ended up executing the individuals. Okay? So this, because I'll tell you what happens. The ICJ does not have the authority to tell you what to do in your country. It only has the authority to tell you that an international violation has taken place. How can you remedy that? So we haven't, this case is not about Kulbhushan Yadav's innocence or guilt. That is our domestic matter to determine. The case is only about whether India had the right to meet him its embassy officials, and whether we violated that right. So if we violated that right, the court will say, did that violation impact this legal process that took place? So all they will ask for Pakistan to do, and this is what they did to the US in all three circumstances, was have a judicial body review the process that took place. And if the judicial body feels that his right to due process and fair trial were negatively impacted because of the denial of consular access, then you might suggest a legal remedy. The state can have a retrial or have some other process brought in. But if the judicial body determines that no, all procedures domestic were followed, then this person will be given, then the decision of the court, the military court will stand. So this is what in the end will happen. Please.
Sir, India हमें इसकी व्यान कन्वेंशन के ऑप्शनल प्रोटोकॉल से रिलेटेड इसके आर्टिकल 1 था रिलेटेड टू इंटरप्रिटेशन, उससे रिलेटेड तो हमें ICJ में लेके जा सकता था, हम चले गए। अब ICJ ये भी एस्टैब्लिश कर लेता है कि यूरिसडिक्शन है और उसकी इंटरप्रिटेशन क्लियर भी हो जाती है, तो उसके बाद हम इस केस से विड्रॉ कर सकते हैं बेस्ड ऑन द फैक्ट कि इंडिया कॉमनवेल्थ कंट्री से रिलेटेड यूरिसडिक्शन को रिकॉग्नाइज नहीं करता है।
No, because if India had gone through the first round, that's a completely separate round. This is, we can take India to court on this optional protocol basis as well, and India can take us because it's a treaty-based method of approaching the ICJ, not a jurisdiction or a declaration of jurisdiction-based method. So, as those 4 grounds, they're completely separate grounds. So one will not impact the other ground.
Sir, लेकिन ये वाला जो method है, is it not only specific to interpretation?
Absolutely. Just
so interpretation
application. That is the only ground which you can take it to.
Interpretation clear होगी. उसके बाद जब next phase आता है, जब वो इंडिया कंप्लेंट ये लेके जाता है कि इन्होंने काउंसलर एक्सेस क्यों नहीं दी, जब ये क्वेश्चन आता है तो उस क्वेश्चन के लिए हम jurisdiction को disregard कर सकते हैं।
I think थोड़ी सी confusion है यहाँ पे। What will be interpreted is whether there was a right and was it denied or was it not right. We will be saying that there was no right based on 2018. India will be saying, no, there was a right because VCCR takes precedence. That is the interpretation issue. So there is no other interpretation issue beyond that. So if we interpret that the Vienna Convention prevails, the ICJ determines that, then India will win the case. If we determine that, no, the 2008 agreement prevails, then we will win the case. So that is the interpretation aspect of it. That has been taken to court. And why the optional protocol allows it. I think we should wrap up. You're welcome at any time to ask me any questions if you have.
So the head of delegation of the International Committee of the Red Cross, Mr. Reto Stocker, and political advisor Jamal Khan, Mr. Jamal Khan is here. So they've come, and so we can have a 15-minute break, and then we'll resume sharp at 3:30.